Hello everyone, and welcome to my 800 subscriber special Q&A. Now, the cool thing about this, I guess, try out a new gizmo, right? So all the audio is being done dual audio, which means that the audio from the camera has been recorded, plus this. Oh. Right, this is the Zoom H1 Handy Recorder. Now, I've already created my cue so I can sync it up in post. Now, I'm doing this with the directional microphone. I'm still learning how to use it, so I figured this is a good time to use it. Now I've got the unit on hold, so I can put this in my pocket. And let's get on with it. Right. Let's see. The very first question is by the secret. Wait a minute. Right. The very first question is by Draw Treat. Okay. Let's see. Right. What was your favourite computer game show? Well, in this country there was only really one computer game show, and that was Games Master. That rocked. Plus the dude, you know, the one who used to do that, God, what was that TV show? That was like a stargazing program. He was the host of it, and he was called the Games Master, and he had this funky stuff on him, like robotic gear and stuff. And every year they totally rechange the layout of the show. It was a brilliant show, and they created a magazine, which the magazine is still going to this day, I believe. Okay, what is your proudest moment in gaming? Easy. Completing Super Mario 64, but not just completing it, getting all 120 stars. And it is my proudest moment, but it also is my most frustrating moment because there's a secret. Once you get it all, something special supposed to happen at the end of the game. And you know what it was? You just meet Yoshi on top of the castle and he says, "Congratulations, you've completed this game." It was a kind of a letdown, but still a good moment. Are you looking forward to the new Mortal Kombat game? Yes, I am, actually. I think as soon as the series went 3D, it lost something. And the new one, it looks like they're going to the Street Fighter 4 format, basically creating a 3D, 2D game. So it should be interesting. Right. Right, next question is by Arcade Game Table. Now for the question, he says, what retro game or game series that has not seen a new release in many years would you request to go into development on a new game today's consoles? A series that I like that has not been resurrected or done anything in a very, very long time is the Dizzy series. I don't know if it would work on modern consoles. I don't know if you could turn Dizzy. I mean, Dizzy was essentially an 8-bit computer game in which basically you go in a level, you pick up an object, you go to another point, you drop it, and that would start off something, mainly open a door or do something, and you do it for the entire level. That wouldn't work on today's consoles. It had to be redeveloped into maybe a platformer. And I think that's the reason why the series never been resurrected, because no one knew really what to do with it. It was created by the Oliver twins, but I think Codemasters has the rights to the name, so who knows. Right. Right, the next question is... Right, this is from Sonic Kings. Right, with the evolution of games nowadays, do you feel that gaming is losing its innovation for making new ideas? Yes, I do. I mean, the biggest innovations are 3D and the motion controllers. The thing I loved about gaming as a kid was with each new generation, not just you had better graphics, there was something new on the horizon, something never been done before. With each generation, it was just awesome. But it seems to me that once we reached the era of the Dreamcast, PS2, GameCube, Xbox, the next generation was just the same but with better graphics. And one console had a motion controller, which wasn't that fantastic. That's the main reason why I love retro gaming. Plus there's still tons of great gems that I've yet to discover. Part of the reason why I like doing this program is I can talk about the games I love, but at the same time I can go back and I can revisit games or even discover retro gems I never played before. Right. Right, next question. Right, this is BlueTonic78. I noticed you are a retro gamer. What do you feel are the biggest difference graphics aside between old retro games and current gen games? Well, I think the biggest difference is retro games mostly tend to be short form games. Now, if you've got half an hour and you just want a bit of quick game and blast fun, retro gaming is perfect for that. But if you are lucky to have several hours free and you want something a bit more in depth, then I would say modern gaming can provide you with games that are kind of like movies. It's like an interactive movie slash fun. They can be good fun, but unless you've got the time to enjoy them, retro gaming is normally better for it. That's my opinion. Basically, it depends on your taste. If you haven't got much time, retro gaming does tend to cater for you much better. Right, next question. Oh yeah, I nearly forgot. Right, and his second question was, what is your favourite alcohol beverage? Real ale. I'm an ale drinker, I love the stuff. But I would say in real ales, probably not my favourite, but the one I drink the most is probably Adam's Best Bitter. One I love when I treat myself is Old Speckled Hen, but it is a bit on the pokey side. Right, the next question is from Tiger V Liger. What was your favourite game mags you read whilst growing up and why? Well, during the era of the PlayStation N64 and Saturn, I probably focused slightly more on the N64, and there was N64 magazine. It wasn't the official one, but it was a really great magazine. I really enjoyed that one. And the official Sega Saturn magazine, I read a few issues, and I actually have PDFs of all of them downloaded. And it's a great magazine. I think the early official PlayStation magazine was a great magazine because it was much more personal. But then again, when the PlayStation first came out, that's how it built its audience. It focused on the older audience, and it was a bit more personal. Whereas now, can't really say the same about it. Right. Do you bother with game mags nowadays? And how do you feel they compare to mags of yesteryear? As far as I'm concerned, with the internet, you don't need game magazines. I mean, other than the official Retro Gamer magazine, it's a UK magazine totally focused on retro gaming and collecting. Other than that, I don't tend to bother because everything I want, I can find online. It's quick, easy, and convenient. Right. Right, next question is from Street Fighter Gamer. What are a few of your favourite games from this current generation of systems? That's a good question. Well, let's go with the Xbox. Well, it's a good question, actually. Well, I did like Grand Theft Auto 4. I thought that was a pretty good game, actually. The best one, I think, in the series. Gears of War 1 and 2. Not just graphically amazing games, but they are really good games. What else? Alan Wake. That was such a brilliant game. What else? Fable 2 and 3. Brilliant. I mean, Fable 3 is not as good, but Fable 2 was awesome. What else? Mass Effect 1 and 2. Brilliant games. And let's see. And Wii-wise, I just finished Silent Hill Shattered Memories. Brilliant game, not too long. What else on the Wii? I mean, I played Resident Evil, The Dark Side Chronicles, and The Umbrella Chronicles, which are all alright games. Marvel vs. Capcom 3, brilliant. Batman Arkham Asylum. Okay, PS3, Heavy Rain, Metal Gear Solid 4. I mean, there's probably not as many games from this generation that I've enjoyed as much as previous generations, but there's still some good games out there. Right. Okay, this question, right, next questions are from Goffman. What is your favourite food or snack? Probably favourite food, well, snack-wise, I like fig rolls. These little doughy pastry things with this kind of raisiny inside chewy stuff. I've probably given a really bad description, but they're really tasty actually and really nice. Right, can you tell a good English joke? No, I can't. Let's think of one at the top of my head. Actually, I will Google a joke. I will Google a joke. Right, let's have a look. Right. Right, let's go to ajokeaday.com, and this is, right. 3 pilots are walking on a ramp. The first one says, "Windy, isn't it?" Second says, "No, Thursday." Third one says, "So am I. Let's go get a beer." Yeah, I think he's confused with Thursday as in Thursday, thirsty, and he said, "Let's get a beer." Bum bum bum. Yes, I know, funny. Oh well, I tried. Right, and let's see. What's your favourite Sega developer or published game for the next gen consoles, given you own these systems? I haven't been impressed by Sega this generation, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know if Sega developed it, but they published Bayonetta, and that was a brilliant game. And when there was the Mega Drive collection, but that wasn't exactly a new game, that was a collection series. I'll be honest with you, with this generation, I've not really been impressed by Sega. I mean, the last generation, especially at the beginning of it, after the Dreamcast failed, they were still releasing some good games, whereas now, they tend to be more as a publisher and developing less and less, which is a bit of a shame. Right. Okay, these questions are hanging with Chuck. Why do you do trade packages with gamers, and what do you get out of it? Well, I think from this point of view, I have stuff that I don't really need, you have stuff you don't really need, and if we swap, I get some cool stuff, you get some cool stuff. It's a way within the community to spread stuff around. Like, let's say I went to a car boot sale and I bought a bunch of Game Boy games, and I had some doubles. I can swap them with other YouTube users. I think for collecting, it's fantastic. I think the more YouTube friends you build up, the more contacts you build up, and it makes collecting easier. It means basically if you get any doubles, you can swap them with someone else. Plus, it's always great to see someone's reaction. It's always great to see them open it and just being absolutely amazed or surprised by it. That's what I reckon. Right. What do you feel is the most important aspect of your entire game collection, and why? I would say memories, because I mean a lot of the game. I mean, I don't go over the top of my game collection. I mean, I've got a pretty good Saturn collection, a pretty good Dreamcast collection. I mean, I'd say, other than a few titles in each of them collections, I have pretty much most of the games worth buying. Most of the games I have in my collection tend to be games that I want to play, or am playing, or have finished playing, and have some kind of significance. Like they were moments in my life, or moments, great gaming moments, and they hold a special place for me. Right. What are your serious thoughts on the game community as a whole? They're a bunch of friendly people, and they get what you're saying. Whereas in real life, the chance of you meeting someone who has the same appreciation for gaming it's not likely going to happen. And even if you do find a fellow gamer, chances are he probably will like different games. At least with YouTube, you can meet like-minded people who may not like the same games as you, but they can share your passion, understand why you collect games, why you play games, and why you even play retro games. That to me is the best thing about the YouTube community. Right, give us a tour of your movie collection grabs and pickups. I am planning to do a room tour at some point, so I will do that then. Thank you for the questions, man. Oh, wait a minute, there's more questions from him. What were your favourite toys as a young lad and TV shows? Toys wise, I like Transformers, they were fantastic. Shh. Thank you. Right, well, Transformers were probably the biggest one for me, because the best thing was you can play with toys, and you could also watch the TV series, which is pretty cool. I like the X-Men cartoon series as a kid, not the new one, the original one, that was a good one. And what else did I enjoy? Can't really think off the top of my head, actually. I'll be honest with you, I think growing up I spent most of my time playing video games, to be honest with you. Right, if you want to make a second channel, what would it be focused on? I'm honestly not sure, actually. It'd probably have to be movies. I mean, I had thought about at some point like doing movie reviews or just doing talkies about movies, but at the moment, just doing Microsoft Retro game reviews, and this channel is taking up a lot of my time, so it'll be a long time before I even think about a second channel. Right, how many gaming channels do you check on a weekly basis, and give you reasons why you do this? Right, I've subscribed to a lot of people, and there are probably about maybe 15 to 20 channels that I check at least once a week. Those channels, I have email updates, so I get emails from every time I do a new video. I at least try and check them at least once a week. There's a load of other people I don't really get time to. I mean, I'll check the YouTube front page and see if they've put any new videos up and whether it's something that interests me or not. The problem is there's a lot of people, and it is extremely difficult to keep in touch with them or follow them. But I always try to, because some of them are really interesting people, and some of them took an interest in me when no one else did, and I thought it was only fair taking an interest in them. But I would say on a weekly basis there's probably about maybe 15, 20, and the reason I do this is because not just people who content I enjoy, there are also great YouTubers and people who I consider friends. Right, there are way too many gamers now on YouTube that still haven't got or had enough recognition or exposure for the material they post. Can you give some advice to these channels that are struggling? One, it depends on your reasons. I think if you go in there with no expectations and you just want to have a bit of fun, my advice to you is just keep doing what you're doing and people will notice. I think anyone on YouTube that's gotten subscribers, it is down to luck. Being in the right place at the right time, having someone notice you, then he talk to someone, and so on and so on. I think when your content goes viral, that's when you get serious subscribers. I mean, I don't know if 800 is amazing. I mean, some people have done better, some people have done worse. I think I'm in the middle. I think I've done alright. And I didn't really have much expectations. I just wanted to have a bit of fun with this, to be honest with you. And it's opened a lot of doors. I mean, my videos are getting better and better. I'm really impressed by them. I now have a website for them, which I never planned to do that in the first place. So doing this has led to me getting back into making websites again, and it's changed my life. It's opened a lot of doors for me. Right, right. I think that's all his questions. So thank you very much, dude. Right, the next question is Mr. Ramon 420. What's the shittiest video game you've ever played? Rise of the Robots. I was asked this question before and I couldn't remember. My brother pointed out a game that we hated as kids, and it was Rise of the Robots, because he saved up and bought this full price. Now, it would have cost a lot of money back then. And Rise of the Robots is by far the worst video game of all time. It had okay music, but it was just a horrible game. What is the worst video game adaptation to a movie? There's two that spring. I think the worst one's got to be the Super Mario Brothers movie. I mean, that movie was just... It was bad. It was just bad. I mean, you watch it and... I mean, one, how could you turn the Mario Brothers, well, the Super Mario Brothers NES game, into a movie? I mean, you got bugger all to work with. So they had to get creative, and yeah, that's pretty much what they did. So I'd have to say that is probably the worst one. I mean, I'm sure there are worse, but I remember Mum took me to see that. We queued up outside cinema, watched it, and it was just, even at about 8 or 10 years old, I thought, yep, this is bad. What is the first film that scared you? Easy. I watched this when I was like 8 years old, and I shouldn't have done. Aliens, and that scared the crap out of me. I watch it now and I laugh. I wonder why it did, but oh well. Thank you for the questions. Right, 28-7. What is your favourite coin up? That's a good question. The one I've probably played the most, and it's still at my local arcade, is Bubble. No, actually not Bubble. It was Puzzle Bubble, whereas it's known now as Bust-A-Move. It's a really great game. It's got nice music, graphics are quite colourful, and it's a really good puzzle game. Thank you very much for that. Right, the next question is from Bakemon13. If you could kill a video game developer, who would it be? Probably modern Sega. I just feel, what they're doing nowadays. They're publishing. They're not making consoles. They're not... I mean, Sega used to be the leaders in video gaming at one point. They used to be an incredible creative force and who would try new things. Whereas nowadays, they play it safe to the point where they would rather publish than create new games. Maybe one day they'll do something, but who knows. Namco or Square Enix? That's a good question. I haven't really followed both these companies in the last few years. Probably more Square Enix. I still regularly check their games and play them. Namco, I haven't really been that interested in the last few years. Right. Hadouken or Shoryuken? Hadouken. What's an enchilada? Something you eat? I'm not sure. Do you think Microsoft will ever make a good quality product? Well, the original Xbox was a good quality product. Unfortunately, it only had about, 4 years? It came late into that generation of gaming, and they ditched it about a year before the generation ended to create the Xbox. And yeah, they got a good lead, but they ended up creating problems, namely the Red Ring of Death. Xbox 360 is a good console apart from the fact that the first version they released had problems. Right. Cheese. Yeah, I like cheese. Oh, my favourite's Edam. Randomness for the win. Yeah, thank you very much, dude. Right. Right, RPG game vids. Right. What other hobbies do you have? Well, I like, AV equipment. I like messing around with TVs, sound systems, messing around with setups. I like watching movies. I like following certain TV shows. I like going to the pub and having a couple of quiet ones every now and then. Mainly gaming. Gaming's probably by far my biggest passion. Right. Do you drive? If so, what car do you drive? If not, have you thought about driving? Driving's not for me. I don't think driving ever will be for me. Plus, I live about 5 minutes away from work. Town's about a 15-minute walk, and the pub's about a 2-minute walk. Basically, within a 15-minute radius, everything I need is pretty close by. I don't really need to walk. It saves me money not driving, and it's good exercise. But I personally think driving provided you're a safe driver and you have the need to drive, then driving's a good option. We're all different, we all have different needs, and if you need to drive, you drive. If you don't, you're doing the world a favour by not driving. That's my personal opinion. Okay. And I believe that is all the questions. Let's just double check. Right, oh yeah, there's one more. It's from Sega Saturn 1001. What is your favourite game girl and why? Cammy. Why? I think we all know why. It's because of her bottom. And she's British as well. Thank you very much, dude. I'm going to check one more time, make sure there's no more questions. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty certain I've answered all the questions. Right, I want to thank everyone for asking me questions. Without you, this Q&A wouldn't have happened. And this is by far the best ones. I mean, I don't know how many questions I've answered, but wow, there was a lot. So once again, I want to thank you all for asking questions. Thank you all for your support and encouragement, for watching my videos, and just being awesome gamers. You all get my thumb of approval. Right, there's a couple more videos coming up. Right, at some point I will do a room tour, because I mean the last one I did is pretty much out of date. I mean, I've bought new stuff, new games, the layout's changed, so it needs to be redone. And as a special treat, during my holiday, not last week, the week before, I went on a brewery trip around Adams Breweries. I'm still editing that video. I've got about 40 minutes of footage, and I'm trying to edit it into a reasonable video of about 15 minutes. I don't know when that'll be done, but when it gets done, it'll be uploaded straight away. That's about it. So I want to thank you for watching. Until next time, see you later.